Hey everyone, consider this explainer your ultimate coach's playbook. If you're gunning to secure top marks and bag that distinction in the 2026 NSC Physical Sciences exams, you are in exactly the right place. We've done all the heavy lifting for you so you can study smarter, not harder.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We're looking at the real deal here. Actual past exam papers and memos straight from the Department of Basic Education, spanning all the way from 2021 up to 2025. By digging into these specific trends, we can literally uncover exactly what the examiners love to test year after year.
So, here is your 2026 exam game plan. We'll be hitting 4 high-yield zones: mastering mechanics, electricity and magnetism, waves and optics, and finally, conquering chemistry.
All right, starting off with Section 1, Mastering Mechanics. These are your high-yield fundamentals.
This right here is absolutely the best place to grab some early marks. Examiners just love testing your conceptual clarity on this stuff. You've got to be totally ready to spot those action-reaction pairs using Newton's third law. Think of the classic bucket sitting on a table scenario. You also need to know exactly how kinetic energy and momentum change if you drop an object, or say how gravitational forces react when you double the distance. If you master these paths and forces, you're going to breeze through those heavy multiple choice sections and lock in those vital early points.
Moving on to Section 2, Electricity and Magnetism Focus. Time to power up your marks.
Now, this zone definitely requires some sharp analytical skills. So ask yourself, how exactly do examiners test AC generators and point charges? Well, looking at the past 5 years, they almost always want to know what happens to the peak output voltage if you double a generator's coil rotation speed. It's a classic. You also need to know exactly how 2 oppositely charged point charges behave, specifically looking at their velocity and acceleration as the distance between them closes. Seriously, do not let these totally predictable 6 to 8 mark questions trip you up.
Next up, Section 3, Waves and Optic Strategies. This is the modern physics goldmine.
Okay, what's really interesting about this is this specific curve. It maps out the maximum kinetic energy of emitted photoelectrons right against the wavelength of incident light. If you master this exact photoelectric effect graph, you can literally bag up to 13 marks in a single question. No joke. Examiners are definitely going to ask you to calculate the work function and determine kinetic energy straight from this data. Just learn how to extract these values and you have absolutely found your gold mine.
And finally, Section 4, Conquering Chemistry, Reactions and Organics.
All right, jumping into paper 2, the absolute crucial point here is understanding exactly how examiners manipulate reaction rates. Take this comparison, for example. Investigation I is rolling with standard conditions, while Investigation I completely cranks up the temperature to 30 degrees Celsius, using aluminum powder and excess 0.1 moles per cubic decimeter sulfuric acid. You've got to be able to predict how this setup changes gas volume and reaction rates, because that is usually a massive chunk of points. And please do not forget your organic chemistry basics. You have to memorize that an aldehyde's functional group is a formal group. It's genuinely painful to see students lose those easy, guaranteed marks just because they skipped their memorization reps. Don't be that student, all right?
So let's bring the whole shebang together. Here is your action plan. First, drill those past paper graphs over and over, especially the photoelectric effect. Second, master your core definitions and organic functional groups so you aren't dropping those easy marks. And third, really prioritize the high-yield mechanics and electricity topics we just talked about. Well, now that you've got the playbook, are you ready to go out there and secure that distinction?